slammed by a terrible snowstorm here at some point. We do every
Mhm.
year. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to it because I'm originally from Chicago. So like I know how to drive in snow and all that stuff. But nobody around here knows how to drive in snow. So I'm like not looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's so funny around here. Whenever we get a snowstorm, everyone predicts that we're gonna get like at least a foot,
Yeah.
and we get maybe an inch. Everyone cancels everything. Everyone freaks out, and it's like, guys, we don't live in Florida. Like, we're used to this. Let's
Yeah.
keep our plans, please. Like,
Yeah. Yep. Now, how far from like Buffalo are you?
like 3 hours, pretty
Okay.
close. Yeah.
Because I've been seeing all the snow and stuff they've been getting up there, and
Mhm.
it's like, wow,
Yeah,
that's insanity.
it's
So,
intense. It's night
but
and day, honestly. We live in a small town in the Finger Lakes, and
yeah,
we get maybe an inch a week.
okay,
But we really, I mean, now that I've gotten older, we don't really get much. It's really
yeah, yeah,
surprising. Yeah.
yeah. I feel that. Awesome. So, if you're ready, we'll jump into the podcast.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Welcome everybody to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Sorry, it's been about a week or so. We had some podcasts lined up that ended up having to get canceled the last minute, and I just couldn't get a replacement in time. So the last few days we've been podcastless, and I apologize about that. But we will be back in full force next week, and we'll get you all your podcasts throughout the week as we normally do. But I just wanted to kind of side note that one. Tonight we have a very special guest coming to us from the very chilly upstate New York. We have Madelyn Rose. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. It's just that weird time of year. It's like right after Christmas where it's like I'm still having the post-holiday blues, and it's still winter. It's not soon enough for spring, so it's just kind of like, okay, here we sit. So,
Yep.
but
Here to March.
yeah. So, you're based out of upstate New York. Is that where you're born, raised? Upstate?
Yes.
Okay.
Same here.
What was it like growing up there?
We live in the Finger Lakes, and so our prime entertainment is just going out on the lakes and with friends and stuff. And you know, it's not like most states where you go out and party all night when you're in
Mm.
high school. It's like, or your prime entertainment is Walmart. So, yeah.
I've lived in a few places like that where the village or the town meeting, you're going to Walmart. I've
Yeah.
lived in a few
I
places
should
like that.
say slightly redneck. Mhm.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
got you. Okay. Is it fair to say summer times is like your peak season up there?
Yeah, summertime is amazing. We got so many tourists every single year. The town pretty much doubles.
Mhm.
So that is slightly annoying, sometimes fun.
I
You can
feel-
definitely tell who's a tourist, who's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. So let's kind of jump into the music aspect of your life because that's what we are. We are a music podcast. Who started? Who was like the or what was like the initial introduction to music, just in general? Whether it was you started singing first or you started listening to music. What was the initial introduction?
Well, I've always grown up on country music. That's what's always been on the radio, and I've always clicked with that. But when I was 4, my parents got me this keyboard from a garage sale, cheap, and I started taking lessons for about 13-ish years, like very long time. Um, and then it wasn't till about my second teacher, she went on maternity leave, and she got me to write a song,
Yes.
and that's where the songwriting kind of started. And then when I was 6, my dad kind of introduced me to singing. He just saw something in me, and he would buy microphones to get me interested. He would sing with me all the time. So that's really where it started.
Awesome, awesome. And so you were primary. It's been 100% country since the day you were
Yes.
born.
Mhm.
Who are some of the musicians that you were listening to?
My top favorite is Carrie Underwood. Um, I love Taylor Swift when she was in country. And then when I got into singing, a lot of the vocal powerhouses like Kelly Clarkson, Christina Aguilera, and I kind of started to shift to pop only because of their voices.
Mhm.
I just wanted to sound like them. So yeah.
Yes. I like the little asterisks that you had to put next to Taylor Swift. That was perfect. The when she was in country. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um no, that's all. And so you've been pretty much playing since you were 4, correct?
Mhm.
Nice. At what or when were you always throughout the entire process, were you just always kind of writing your own music, or did that kind of develop a little bit later on?
That developed when my teacher left, and that was
Mm.
about when I was 13, 14.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So then when I was 14, I kind of just started to go all at writing
Mhm.
and see how good I could get at it. And I started to actually enjoy it and learning to get my emotions out. So, yeah.
Awesome. And with the writing process, was it just kind of something that happened naturally as far as like actually writing, or did you have to take, like, I don't know, classes or something, or did somebody kind of show you how to write, or did it just kind of come out naturally?
It was kind of self-taught. I wasn't
Mhm.
that interested at first because I just knew deep down I really didn't think I was going to be good at it. And I still love to co-write with people. We just work. I personally work better with a bunch of people writing.
Mm,
And
gotcha.
so at first I'm like, this is a waste of time. Like I'm
Yeah,
never gonna succeed at this. So yeah, pretty much just kept it with myself.
gotcha. And was there kind of a moment where it was like, okay, where you kind of initially kept it to yourself as far as writing? Was there like a trigger point or a moment where it's like, okay, I need to share this with everybody or the world?
I started to gather an album,
Hmm.
and that I released on my own when I was 14. It was just acoustic, just my voice and piano.
Hmm.
It's now taken down, but that was kind of like my game changer into going professional. That
Hmm.
was I was started to be homeschooled, and I was like, okay, like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
And even all aspects of it, I produced it, I mixed it, I mastered it, I wrote it, obviously, and I enjoyed every step of it. So that was kind of like, okay, like I enjoy this entire thing. I should probably stick with this.
yeah. Gotcha. So the album that you took down, any aspirations of putting it back up or re-recording it or remixing, like essentially re-releasing it, or is it kind of, if you heard it, you heard it, and if you didn't, you didn't?
I would say in the late future,
Okay.
a couple years
Right.
down the road, I could see myself doing that with a lot of help.
Yeah.
um, but for now, not really.
Gotcha. What was kind of the thought process behind taking it down? Was it just the music didn't accurately represent who you are, or did you think like there's such a difference between the quality of what you had done versus what's coming out next?
Yeah, there was quite a difference between the style that I did in that album and then what I was working on next. And partly because my voice changed so much because I was so young. I
Mhm.
sounded like in the first track I was 10, the second track I was 15.
Yeah,
And uh, so that was kind of frustrating to me. And even now, I hear songs I recorded a year ago and I'm like, wow, that does not sound like me. But I
yeah,
still like the song.
yeah.
So
Gotcha. And so, kind of being so young in the music business, what's been kind of like the biggest hurdle for you to overcome at this point?
definitely high school.
Yeah.
I'm 15. I went to homeschooling during COVID,
Mhm.
but I hear every rumor that goes around about me. And, she thinks she's famous. She thinks she's this. She thinks she's that. And just trying to push through that, especially
Mm.
local gigs. a lot of teenage girls will come in, and people that I used to be friends with, used to know. Some people love it. They'd love to take my side, think it's
Yeah.
amazing, but it's
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be that jealousy there for sure. For sure.
Mhm.
So you, a lot of your music that you released was pretty much during COVID, correct? Like if you're 15 now and you released the album when you were 14, I think my math is correct. I
Yeah.
wasn't very good at math, so uh
Yeah, just about, yeah, because I started producing everything just about like January of 2021.
okay.
And the summer of 2021, I officially released that.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
just about a year later, um, in January of 2022, I met my now manager, and that's where
Mhm.
things took off.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's cool. So it COVID didn't really slow anything down because you didn't really start producing until after COVID had kind of been underway, or were you already looking at starting to pursue this before COVID got here in
Well,
2020?
it started at Christmas of
Okay.
actually 2020, and people would ask me for recordings of Christmas music, especially "Oh Holy Night," and
Hmm.
um, my dad and I would try to figure out how to make it sound the best and the most professional. And so we just got so interested in that stuff. We just went all in with it. And especially just starting writing, with the
Hmm.
two of those ideas combining, it was really cool.
Nice. That's cool. And so you do have a song dropping tonight in what, 4 hours? A little less than 4 hours?
8, 9, 10, 11,
Yeah.
12. Yes.
Yeah. So what's running through your mind right now as you kind of is like this is your first official release?
I just, I can't wait to see my name
Mhm.
everywhere, Spotify. I've seen it before, but I did that myself. And so
Yeah.
having everyone else combined, just hundreds of people, it's like so amazing that everyone did that and so many people wrote the song, and there's just,
Yeah.
it's a whole group project. Everything came together and it's finally happening.
Yeah, for sure. And you currently have a Christmas song out on Spotify right now. That's the only thing that's kind of commercially available.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
that was 2021,
Yep.
I think, because it's
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah.
uh,
It at least that's what it says on Spotify that it was 2021.
yes.
So,
So that was, I took my time with that, and
uh-huh.
it was inspired by Carrie Underwood's Christmas album.
Yeah.
And that actually helped my producer a lot, or excuse me, my manager. He just loved that song, and especially the vocal in it, just I think draw him in, honestly. So I'm
Hmm.
really glad that I had that up.
Yeah. Gotcha. So not to shy away from the song releasing tonight. Sorry, I don't know why I felt the need to bring up the Christmas song. It's not even Christmas anymore. But you got a new song dropping tonight, Tail Lights Fade. What's kind of the story behind this song?
Well, we knew that we needed to look at writing any kind of
Hmm.
song.
Hmm.
And I got together with my producer and another writer, and we just didn't really know what to write about. I had ideas, wasn't really willing to share them, too scared.
Yeah.
And we all kind of took a break, and we were looking at our phones, just brainstorming. Of course, we were on Zoom. So
Hmm.
I was on one end, they were in Nashville.
Yeah.
And it was at the time of Stagecoach, all of those music festivals in like
Yeah.
March, April timeframe.
Yeah.
And every girl's posting on Instagram about their outfits, and one of the writers discovered something about like when you watch my taillights fade, like
Yeah.
an insult kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, like taillights fade." And I was writing about a breakup, and I was so mad. I kind of said, "You're gonna see that I'm the one that got away."
Yeah.
Just this whole cocky theme, and we kind of put them together. I didn't think it was gonna fit, but she took it and ran with it, and it ended up great.
Oh, wow. Nice. That's awesome. And how long ago did you write this song?
This was March of 2022.
Okay, so it's been in the process for a little bit then.
Mhm.
It is this a song that you've had an do you is this a song that you've had an opportunity to play live, like play out at shows and whatnot, or
Yes.
okay. So it's a song that people are somewhat familiar with as long as they've
Mhm.
seen you live.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the reason I asked that is because I've kind of hit this interesting cross section of musicians where on this side you have musicians that don't play new music, and then on this side you have musicians that they won't release music unless they've at least road tested it for a couple of months. And so it's always kind of interesting to see where uh musicians kind of lie in that spectrum of things, whether it's intentional or unintentional.
Yeah, I agree. For fun, I'll do it to see people's reactions
Mhm.
if they start to sing along, and especially
Yeah,
because the post-chorus is really
yeah.
repetitive, and a
Mhm.
lot of people catch on to that, so I thought that was interesting.
Nice. Awesome. I would hopefully once it releases tonight at midnight, everybody will go check it out. I'll throw the link in the description for the pod. If you're listening live, it's in the comment thread. If you're listening on Spotify Podbean after we've released it, it'll be the link will be in the description below. So make sure you go check it out after you finish the podcast, of course, please. That's all I ask. So is this ultimately leading to an album, or are you just gonna kinda stay in the singles realm?
Uh, Pretty much until spring, we're gonna do singles, and then this summer we are planning on bunching them up
Mhm,
and gathering a few more to do an album.
gotcha. So is that are you planning on doing, like, a bunch of shows once, like, school's over? Like, so, like, do, like, a summer I don't know if it would be like a tour, or is that kind of the thought going into it, or do
Yeah.
you just wanna do an album?
Yeah, I would say both, honestly,
Okay.
just to have everything together in one thing, but I love to perform live and especially around here in the summer, like I said, so many tourists. So, yeah.
Nice, awesome. Have you had an opportunity to go out and do like a tour yet, or is that something that would like this summer be the first time you've had that opportunity?
Yeah, that would be on the books for this year and next.
Oh,
So, yeah.
oh,
I think we were just waiting to get a few pieces of music out first.
yep,
Have something to follow along with, so.
nice. Since you're kind of this is your like first adventure into doing this professionally, releasing music. What's been the biggest learning curve for you as far as you know in the process of writing, recording, producing, releasing, promoting, and all that stuff?
I would say taking my time, not just bunching it all together in
Mhm,
one day or one week, whatever we're doing,
mhm.
because it shows. Whether it's we're writing, you can't write 3 songs in a day. They're just all gonna
Yeah.
come out horrible. We made a mistake of doing a photo shoot and recording a single in the same day when it was 108 degrees outside
Fair.
in
Okay.
Nashville.
Yeah.
And the vocal came out so bad that we can't even use it.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, that would be my lesson.
That's that's an expensive lesson, period. I
Yeah.
mean the studio time by itself, like, that's just a loss. Hopefully, you didn't have to scrap the photo shoot and all that stuff, but,
Oh, yeah. Just
it
an
was
allergic reaction to some, allergies, but yeah,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
worked out.
yeah,
I'm still here.
yeah. I've been sucking down allergy meds all day. I'm kinda surprised I'm upright right now, like, the s the allergies have been so bad that today, it's just like, I woke up and I was like, "Oh, please tell me I have allergy meds at the house because I'm not getting out of this house until I take allergy meds." And I was out. I was just like, "Oh, dang. Okay. Now I have to go to the drugstore." So, yeah, it's I know what you mean by allergies. It's bad.
It was
So,
so funny because everyone warned me, like, people move to Nashville, never have
Mhm.
allergies, then they get there
Yep.
and it's horrible.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I was
That's
exactly like that. My dad has horrible allergies, didn't even touch him. And then
yeah.
I get there and I'm like literally crying from how much water coming out of my eyes.
Yep. That happened because I, for a short minute after I graduated from college, I lived in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is about an hour from Nashville. Same situation. Never really had allergies, never nothing. And I moved to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and the first week it was just like my eyes, like just it was so bad. I was like, I don't know. Like, I had to ask people from there. I was like, what do you take for this? I don't know what this is. And they're like, you have allergies. Okay, take this or try this or try this. Yeah, it was bad. So, um, so how often do you get to go to Nashville, or is it just kind of like recording and all that stuff?
It seems to be every 3 months.
Okay.
Um, it seemed to be this summer. We went twice. Just how everything lines up, with sometimes we'll record a music video for something. Maybe we don't think the song is as good as the one before, so we won't.
Mhm.
That kind of stuff. But we normally try to record 2 or 3 singles when we're down there so that we get as much as we can done.
Mhm. Yeah. So make it as worthwhile as possible.
Yeah.
So is the hope to move there one day, or do you kind of like where you're at and just kind of commuting back and forth?
I would say I could see myself moving there. Yeah.
Mhm. I
Just with
mean, it's
everything going on. I
yeah,
don't love my hometown. I in the
yeah,
summer love it, but yeah, like I said, it's snowing and 20
yeah,
degrees right now. So
yeah.
don't
I
love
got you.
that,
Gotcha. I was gonna say, I was like, that was a very heavy question to ask a 15-year-old, but in 3 years you'll be 18 and free to do whatever you want to do. So, no, that's awesome. And so once the single, like now that you're kind of at the finish line for the release of this single, what's running through your mind as far as like what's next? Are you already thinking about the next one, or are you gonna kind of take a minute and just kind of smell the roses, so to speak?
we've got the next one lined up. Uh, we've actually got the next 4 lined up. So
Oh well,
we just got to keep going.
yeah, gotcha. And I mean, you're young enough that the one piece of advice would be just to kind of enjoy the moments, because you never know if you're going to get it again. So that would be my one piece of advice coming from a 35-year-old that had a lot of moments that he wished he would have just kind of taken a minute to enjoy. So, um, anyways, so now that the single's kind of coming to the finish line, what's your show schedule looking like? Do you play regularly right now, or what's your show schedule kind of looking like right now?
Winter is hard.
Mm.
There's not a lot of people around, and
Fair.
so I did a couple shows this winter.
Hmm.
Um, but we decided to kind of take a break until mid-spring when we get a lot of people
Gotcha.
back, and then summer we go full speed.
Gotcha. And you'll have some music out and
Yeah.
stuff to push. That makes perfect sense. So outside of music, when you kind of need a moment to yourself to reset, to just kind of decompress, what are some of your hobbies?
Um, I love to run, and then in the summer we just get together with friends, go out on the lake, that kind of stuff. It's really enjoyable.
Nice. So just being outdoors for the most part.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, one thing that we do with everybody that comes on the podcast is we play a fun little game. It's called recently been renamed That's So Random. And I have a random question generator sitting in front of me. So I'm going to just ask you a few random questions. So if you're ready, that's so random. Would you rather never use social media again or watch TV shows again?
Um, I would say never watch TV shows again. Not a big TV girl.
Gotcha. Would you rather be transported permanently 500 years into the future or into the past?
I think I would say the past. I know
Yeah.
what's gonna happen.
Yeah, fair. In your opinion, what is the best movie ever made?
Oh man, really putting me on the spot here.
Not me. It's the app. It's not me. Blame the app.
Uh, One of my favorites is Overdrive.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
What is something that makes you belly laugh?
Um,
Like a good
Probably
hearty
someone
laugh.
falling.
What's that?
Said probably someone falling.
Fair. Very fair. And then final question. We're going deep on this one.
Oh, boy.
If you found out you were going to die tomorrow, what would your tombstone say?
I don't know how to answer this. My name?
Well, because usually, so it's like your name, and then there's like a little quote, I guess is what they're getting at. There's like a quote that goes on the tombstone. So
Probably had to be something with country music.
fair. Very fair. You know what? We're going to do one more just because. Let's see. No, I don't want to do a riddle. That's ridiculous. Let's not do that. They just recently redid this app, and I'm not 100% happy with what they did. Okay. If you were given $1 million, what would you spend it on?
A boat.
Fair. That would be fun on the lakes.
Yeah.
Let me just say that. Awesome. So that was so random. And this time it was very random. I've had some where it's not quite that random, but this one was pretty good. So it was good. So kind of moving forward with everything, you got the single dropping tonight. Have you kind of picked out or announced the next one, or is that still kind of being determined?
Yeah, everything is pretty much finalized for the next one.
Mhm.
We don't have an official date, but we know
Gotcha.
it'll probably end of March.
Gotcha. Awesome. So we could definitely look forward to the end of March for that one to come down the pipeline. I'm definitely really excited to, just kind of being able to hear some of the stuff I've heard on social media not Twitch, Instagram. I don't know why in my head I'm like, oh no, that's not correct. Just kind of hearing some of the social videos that you put out, and I'm really excited to hear the new song dropping tonight, and stuff you got coming out in the future. What's one piece of advice as we kind of wrap up here? What's kind of the one piece of advice you have for the young ones out there?
I would say what you had said earlier, enjoy it while it lasts. I mean, I would love to go back and record the music videos again, be in the studio again. I'm just soaking it up right now. I mean, we got the single dropping tonight. I turned 16 a couple weeks, and
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. 16, that's a big one. That's
Yeah.
gonna be exciting. Are you yeah, that's gonna be fun. You got, like everything's kind of happening right now. That's gotta be just really exciting. And hopefully the summer turns out really good with the release of the full album, and or the release of I'm not gonna say, I shouldn't say full album, but just like a full project. And just kind of enjoying the summer as your like first summer as a professionally released musician.
Yeah.
So, um, so for anybody that's listening, we've been sitting here with Madelyn Rose. She's got a new single dropping tonight at midnight, from what I gather, it's midnight Eastern. I think that's how Spotify works anymore. I've been trying to figure this one out for like 6 months, because I interview musicians and they're like, "Oh, the single's coming out at midnight," but it was out at like midnight, where like the first time that it hits midnight in like the first time zone, wherever that's at, out in Russia or whatever. But it's like available here, and then sometimes it doesn't hit midnight until whatever time zone you're in. It's just kind of like whatever. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of confused too because at 11 p.m. everybody in Nashville is gonna change all my graphics and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, so are you guys gonna be able to listen to it at 11 p.m.? And I really don't know.
yeah. It's like I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, we'll figure this one out. Like every time I ask the question, it's like I
We
don't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah,
We are
so
all confused here.
that's Spotify. Answer these questions. We've got hard hitting questions, please. But no, it's been an absolute blast chatting with you. Really appreciate you. You're welcome back on anytime. So feel free to let me know if you ever want to come back on for the next one or whatever you got. Would really enjoy having you. Once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you check out Tail Lights Fade tonight, tomorrow, like whenever you're listening to this podcast, feel free to give it a or save on Spotify or iTunes, Deezer, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music, it's out there. But yeah, once again, this has been Tom Quiet from Live and Amplified. If you've not followed, or if you're looking to follow us on social media, liveandamplified.net is the best place to do that. Once again, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you all later.